What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we are back today with the very final stage of shipment number 6. I have been building this all day. From the perspective of you guys, it's been over the last month and a week or so, and it's been great. I have to say, knowing that I've been building this and having fun all day, but also creating an entire month or so's worth of content, knowing that the next box is going to come before I'm finished releasing episodes for this, it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a relief, and for all the waiting that I've done, the work that has been done as well has been super satisfying. And of all the stages that we've done so far, this is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. So today we're going to be assembling our final hull panel section and putting it onto our saucer superstructure, and we'll kind of review the work that we've done so far and kind of what we've learned with the process. But then the big part of today is we're going to be working on the Cobra head on the battle section, or the engineering section, and we're going to be getting it wired up. We're going to put all of our plates in place, and we're going to get all of that taken care of. And there's a switch that we get to flip, and we get to turn this piece, the thing on, and have all the lights light up at the same time, and it's going to be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get this unpackaged. This is kind of like the very first one, the package, kind of a big one. So let's go ahead and get our scissors going. The screw thing here at the end just was not moving out of the way, so we'll just move out of its way. Now we have our clear and dark windows. I got that right this time. And I've done a lot of these today. At the end of the episode, I'm going to show you all of the sprues that I have separated today in one day. So it's going to be kind of cool. So we have our dark and light windows. We're going to be using, I think, 15 and 16 respectively. Here are our LEDs, and yeah, it's so cool how many of these things there are. It's kind of insane. And what's really cool is we have our first PCM, and this is where all of the power for the engineering section, I believe, or at least most of it. I don't know if there's 1 or 2 battery boxes in the engineering section, but I think it's only 1. But here is where we're going to be plugging in a lot of our stuff today, and we're going to be testing it. So I'm going to be keeping this in its sleeve until we're ready to go with it. I don't want to touch it much with my hands if I don't have to. I'm likely going to go grab a pair of gloves when we're doing this. I just don't want to damage anything. I want to make sure everything stays nice. So there's our PCM. And then we had our screws here. So we have our BP. So we're just going to go ahead and get those opened. You know how we do by this point. Although I do have my screws off camera now at this point, just because it's a little bit easier to have everything on this little pad. We got our CP screws. And then we have some DP screws. We haven't had so many of those. They're really big screws. Yeah, crazy. Okay, cool. So now, this is kind of cool. So these are our connectors for if you see on the show on Star Trek The Next Generation, when they separate the saucer section, there are the pieces that come up and grab the saucer and then pull it back down. And that's what these are. And I believe that they should be cast in, just because they're actually going to be used to hold the saucer in place, they should be cast in, what's it called? Die cast. Oof. Interesting. They're not. Well, we'll see how that goes. I imagine, though, I'm not going to be separating the saucer too often. Anytime somebody comes over and asks about it, that's likely going to be the time that I separate the saucer. So there's that. I'm just going to go ahead and keep those in here for now. I don't know what to do with my hands ever. So these are kind of cool here. So we have, obviously, our escape pods, which we're pretty familiar with. And then we have some FM screws, which is the first time we're seeing these. So we're going to have those and have them right here. And, of course, we just have our escape pods. But then these have a resistor in them or something like that. Or, yeah, I believe it's a resistor that causes them to blink. So, my friends, we have our first running light indicators, which is super cool. So, and it has another... So it has actually 3 LEDs on one connection, which is pretty cool. So we're going to be hooking this up today as well. And then for the first part of our stage today, I believe we're done with this. And for this, we have our final hull panel section. And I see a... Oh, well, I was wrong. We have some more BM screws because, of course we do. BM screws are part of every build that we do. They are the smallest and most common. And I'm just going to remember that the BM, I say that, I am going to leave that one right there. I see a slight change. I'm going to go ahead and grab my card real quick. Get this plastic out of the way. So I see a slight change, once again, in the way the LED is fit in here. As noted in the previous episode, I think they made a change during the process of building all of this. And the tabs that hold the LEDs in are much bigger, and this slot for them is much deeper. I'm curious to see if we're going to see this going forward, and I really hope so because I'm looking forward to actually playing with these things and getting them connected without having to worry about, taping it down, which is just such a frustrating thing. So, let us start with, I believe the first part of this is actually just what we've been doing the entire time, and that's going to be separating off of our sprues. And I will go ahead and have at the end of the separation, I'll show you all the different little sprue trees that we've separated off. I'm going to go ahead and separate out my escape pods and my windows, get them cleaned up, and I will be right back. Alright, so here is the sprue carnage. I decided this time to go ahead and pull all of our windows from the spares. I decided that it would probably be better to have just the extra windows that we have on some sprues ready to go nice and clean so we don't lose where they're at. I went ahead and just individually pulled them out, cleaned them up, and so this is what it would have been, and that is just so many sprues. Just so many sprues. I have separated all of that and cleaned up all of that, and last night and today, it's been over the course of maybe 6 hours. Nuts. Alright, enough of that. Let's go ahead and toss this in the trash. Jeez. Very satisfying to do so. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get to the nuts and bolts of this episode, shall we? So, let us go ahead and install our escape pods, making sure that the red line is facing down. Very nice. These ones are going in nice. I see a bit of a step up in quality in the model in these later stages here, and I think it's interesting. Very interesting. Things are fitting in here better. A little bit more secure, not as before I was having to take the escape pods and really push them down. So I went ahead and pre-cut our piece of tape, and so where we're going to start laying it is down here on the very end, and I'm going to get it positioned exactly where I want it. Nope. Yep. Nope. Exactly where I want it. Just going to go ahead and accept it. We're going to pull that one off. There we go. Okay, we're going to start over on that one. I do not want to have any of this seen from anywhere if we can avoid it. So this one is actually a little fatter on that one end, so I'm going to go ahead and... Wasn't a precise cut, for sure. And just once again, if you haven't seen, I am doing this for light bleed And to make sure that the escape pods didn't quite cut that long enough. It's okay. To make sure that the escape pods are pushed down really nice and tight so that they're consistent across the entire model. And for light bleed, I am worried a little bit about light bleed, and I experimented with a couple different types of tape, and I found that just electrical tape works best. It's pliable. I'm able to kind of run my edge along here. And then what I'm going to do, I think I have a little piece here. There we go. Got an extra piece of the tape here. It's one of the pieces from stage, what is it? Stage 19? Something like that? Yeah. There we go. See how those turned out. Make sure I got them all right. Yeah, those turned out really good. Make sure they're all pushed through. Really, you know, the biggest thing here is just making sure that they stay in place, but also protecting against that light bleed. Okay, so now let's go ahead and quickly get our windows put in place. So we're going to start with the top row, and I found that it's easy for me to turn it this way and do them. So we're going to do, oh wow, 4 dark ones to start. Something sticky. I don't know what it is. Oh, there's something sticky there on the edge of my tweezers. I have ordered new tweezers and screwdrivers and such. Well, they're going to be here end of the week. Not in a huge rush, as we're going to be done building this model for the month. Anticipate that I would have already received the next package by the time this episode has released. But from my perspective, I literally just got it. So, yeah. Got it last night. And we've done some work. Done some work. Okay, yeah, going nice and quick. All right, then we have 2 lights to start this next row. Oop. Yeah, the tweezers getting bent back into place definitely helped a couple episodes ago. From your perspective, for me it was just a little while ago, and it's made my life incredibly easier. It's getting quicker at getting these put into place. We're going to be doing 3 in a row here, so 2, 3. And it was 16 clear and 13 dark in this section here. Okay, then we're going to do 2 clear and then 1 dark and then 2 clear and then 1 clear. Excuse me. Oh, got that one right the first time. Yeah, getting good at this. As soon as I ever compliment myself, I drop it, which is typical me. Captain Clums. There we go. Too dark to start this row. And once again, you know, if you haven't been here for a little while and this is the first time you're seeing this, I am following the pattern according to the diagram given to me, and that pattern is also what you see on the screen for Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Generations. So I wanted to go ahead and keep it the same, although I think there's been a couple of deviations as I've popped out some panels, and I've just kind of like quickly fixed them real fast. But definitely getting much faster at doing this. Okay, and last dark one here. And we're going to do 2 clear. Very nice. Yeah, it's going quick. I remember, oh my goodness, that one just went flying, so we're going to go ahead and separate. There's not a chance in hell I'm going to find a clear one on this carpet. It's not a dark carpet, but Not a chance in hell. Well, there's a chance in hell. I just don't want to do it. I have an extra one here and 1,000 extras somewhere else. So let's go ahead and separate a new one here. Just one. I'm going to clear up. This is what I've been doing, like literally just separate them all, put them in a little pile, and then just hold them and flatten the edge. That's all. And then blow each one off. From an outside perspective, it must sound weird in my room when I'm like preparing for all these. Alright, so we got all of our windows put in place with only one pop out, which is kind of nice. So now, I'm kind of looking forward to this. Like I said, when we're unpackaging the thing here, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this whole process is going to work. So, we're going to take the reflector panel and just a pair of the lights, and then plug each one into the reflector as we see. So, we're going to go yellow and yellow at the top. How interesting. Okay. So this one is going to go all the way in. Oh, yeah, I'm liking that. That is super nice. Let's go ahead and grab the other one. Separate that out as well. This one is not as deep, but it's pretty secure, so I'm going to go ahead and see how that does. Nope. Still needs a little bit here and there, but yeah, I've seen just like a step up in the quality of this, the connection points for the LEDs, and so I'm just going to go and take one small piece of tape here and just make sure that one's secured. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and install our piece. Just like so. Set it right on top. There we go. Then we're going to go ahead and take 2 BP screws. There's only a couple of these. It says only 2, but there's 3 slots. I'm going to go ahead and connect the third one here. I don't know why it's saying it's only 2. It's interesting. And they only gave us... I'm going to go with just doing the 2. That's what the instructions say. I'm going to leave this one open, and I wonder if it's for a connection point. I'm not sure. You know what? No. I will, if so... I will do that later. I just feel like that's a bit of an oversight in the instructions. It's basically saying don't put a screw right there, and I disagree. So, we are putting a screw there. And there we go. And let's see how our piece turned out. And glorious as usual. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to be leaving the separate LEDs off. I'm going to go ahead and move this piece off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and move that piece off to the side. And I'm going to go grab our saucer section, and I will be right back. My kitten was playing with it, and I had to cover it up. Okay, so this thing has gained some girth over the last little bit. We're going to be installing that piece that we just created, and we're going to be putting it right here. So... let us take a look. It wants us to route the wires. How are we doing with the LED placement? I think it's just coming straight out, so we're looking good. It's going to come basically right here. That connects up nicely. Okay, so I'm going to have to bend down the LED just a little bit and bend back. Let's see how that does. I'm going to bend it down and in. I'm kind of test fitting my connections first before moving on, for sake of quality. Okay, So it wants us to route the wires down through this one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over now. Just wanted to see how everything fit. Okay, so now let us route our wires, and the wires are going to come. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on my image here real fast. So the wires are going to go over and under on the first one here. So let's move this bundle out of the way and see if I can't trap it somewhere. Not really. So the inner one is going to come up and over through here. Pulling that one through. And then the other one is just going to come over across the top of this one. Or under. So we're going to come across. Sorry, just looking at my diagram here. So this one comes over the top of that one and then down this way. Okay, that's interesting. But then again, I'm not here to question it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and fit our piece in. And let's see, I think we're going to go ahead and bend our one here at a 90 to give some room for the other wire. Just looking at my Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and attach with a DP screw. Where are the DP screws? Okay, so I'm going to take our DP screw here. Had to go get one because for whatever reason it didn't come in the package, which is odd, actually, if I'm being real. That into the screw hole. And then getting the inner one tightened down. And get the outer lined up. And it tightened down. Very nice. Okay, so that one was easier than most, which was nice. And we're going to leave both of the extra LEDs loose for, I'm assuming, what we're going to do next. And so in this entire package, we have assembled, that turned out interesting. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. Once again, we're going to be relying on the edge too. I went ahead and watched a video, and sure enough, it's the edge piece that really cinches that in. So we have assembled a very large portion of our deck panels, and to be honest with you, I am super excited about that. This looks so good. The amount of wires coming out the back is kind of insane. You know, I imagine that once all of this is said and done, it's going to be nutty, the amount of wires that are in here. So that's what it looks like, my friends. And so we have done some serious work on the top of this hull, and it is really satisfying. I'm really going to look forward to looking at this all month and touching it and tweaking with it and making sure everything's all tightened down and nice. And so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next phase, which is next part of this step, or this stage, which is going to be working on the battle section. We'll be right back.